Before independence, there were no restrictions to practice the profession of pharmacy in India. Anyone could practice this profession without any knowledge of the drugs, which causing great harm to the health of people by wrong compounding and dispensing practices. Many cases were brought to the notice of the government wherein the compounding, mixing or dispensing of medicines was being done by persons who were not adequately educated for this purpose. It was found necessary to enact a law for the regulation of the profession and practice of pharmacy. As per the recommendations of Drugs Inquiry Committee and Health Survey and Development Committee regarding formation of Central Council and State Pharmacy Councils, for taking care of education of pharmacists and for maintaining the register of pharmacists, the Pharmacy Act came into existence on 4th of March 1948. This Act extends to the whole of India except the aim and objective of Pharmacy Act 1948. The Pharmacy Act 1948 was passed with the objective of regulating the practice of pharmacy in India and thereby raising the status of profession of pharmacy. It also aims to provide uniform quality education for those who enter the profession of pharmacy. Objectives of Pharmacy Act 1948. The major objective of this act is to regulate the profession and business of pharmacy. In addition to this, other objectives are to provide the uniform education and training to all the new pharmacists, to maintain the control over persons entering in the profession. Important definitions regarding this chapter. 1. Central Council means. Central Council means the Pharmacy Council of India constituted under Section 3. 2. Central Register means. Central Register means the register of pharmacists maintained by Central Council under Section 15A. 3. Registered Pharmacist means. Registered pharmacist means person whose name is for the time being entered in the register of pharmacists for a state in which he is for the time being residing or carrying on his profession or business of pharmacy. 3. Executive Committee. It means. Executive Committee means the Executive Committee of Central Council or State Council as the context may require. 4. State Council. It means. State Council means State Pharmacy Council constituted under Section 19 and also includes Joint State Pharmacy Council constituted in accordance with an agreement under Section 20. 5. University Grants Commission. It means. It means the University Grants Commission established under Section 4 of the University Grants Commission Act, 1956. 6. Repatriate. Repatriate means any person of Indian origin, who on account of civil disturbances or for the fear of such disturbances now forming the part of Sri Lanka, Burma, Uganda, or any other such country has on or after 14th of April 1957 left or has been displaced from his place of residence and who has since then been residing in India. 7. Displaced person. Displaced person means person who on account of setting up the dominions of India and Pakistan, or on account of civil disturbances or for the fear of such disturbances now forming the part of Pakistan has on or after 1st of March 1947 left or has been displaced from his place of residence and who has since then been residing in India, or person who on account of civil disturbances or for the fear of such disturbances now forming the part of Bangladesh has on or after 14th of April 1957 but before 25th of March 1971 left or has been displaced from his place of residence and who has since then been residing in India. 8. Registered medical practitioner. We can call a person as a registered medical practitioner. Person holding qualification granted by an authority specified or notified under Section 3 of the Indian Medical Degrees Act, 1916 or as may be specified in the schedules to the Indian Medical Council Act, 1956, or person who is registered or eligible for the registration in a medical register for a statement for the registration of person practicing the modern scientific systems of medicine, or Person who is registered or eligible for the registration in a medical register for a state who, although not falling within sub-clauses I or 2, is declared by general or special order made by the state government, in this behalf as a person practicing modern scientific systems of medicines, or person who is engaged in the practice of veterinary medicine and who possess the qualification approved by the state government, or person whose name is entered in the Register of Dentists under Dentists Act, 1948.
Generally, the Pharmacy Act is covered under 5 chapters consisting of 46 sections. The major amendment to the Act was made in 1976 to Section 42 of the Act, wherein the drug stores in the country would be run under the supervision of registered pharmacists only after 1st of November, 1983. The chapters covered under the Act are as follows. Chapter 1, Introduction to the Act. Chapter 2, Pharmacy Council of India. Chapter 3, State Pharmacy Council. Chapter 4, Registration of Pharmacists. Chapter 5, Miscellaneous.
Now, let's see the Constitution of Central Council means Pharmacy Council of India. PCI consists of elected members, in this 6 members that are elected by UGC from teaching profession, 1 member which is elected by MCI, 1 member which is elected by State Pharmacy Council. Nominated members, 6 members that are nominated by central government, 1 representative each which is UGC, and 1 registered pharmacist which is each state/union territory. It also have ex officio members which is the Director General of Health Services, the Director of Central Drugs Laboratory, the Drugs Controller of India. PCI also have Executive Committee. It consists the President of the Council, the Vice President of the Council, 5 other members elected by the Central Council from amongst its members. Apart from this, the Council also appoints a Registrar, other officers and servants for carrying out its statutory functions. Now, let's see the different works or functions of PCI. Functions of Pharmacy Council of India, PCI. To prescribe the minimum standards of education required for qualification as a pharmacist by making and governing the education regulations throughout the country. To ensure uniform implementation of the educational standards throughout the country. By appointing pharmacy inspectors to inspect the pharmacy institutions. To grant approval or withdraw the approval of institutions which conduct the course of study or holds an examination for pharmacists. To approve the qualifications granted outside the territories to which the Pharmacy Act, 1948 extends, i.e. the approval to foreign qualification. To prepare and maintain a central register for pharmacists. Other functions of Central Council are as follows. To appoint a registrar who shall act as a secretary, and even as a treasurer of Pharmacy Council of India, with the prior sanction of central government. To acquire and maintain the movable and immovable properties of the government. To appoint and fix the pay to be paid to the officers and servants to enable to carry out its functions. To fix the allowances to be paid to the President and Vice President of PCI. To fix the place, date and time of meeting. To get the accounts audited from the auditor. To monitor all over country, PCI frames State Council to look after PCI and work in each state or territory, that is called as State Pharmacy Council. State Pharmacy Council consists of elected members, 6 members in that elected from amongst themselves by registered pharmacist of the state, 1 member elected by the Medical Council of State, nominated members, 5 members that are nominated by the state government, ex officio members in this, Chief Administrative Medical Officer, Officer in charge of Drugs Control Administration of State.
Functions of State Pharmacy Council. 1. Preparation and maintenance of register. State Pharmacy Council of each state shall prepare and maintain the Register of Pharmacists as per the provisions of the Pharmacy Act, 1948. 2. Entry and removal of name from register. Registrar of each state council shall enter the names of such persons qualified by Registration Tribunal appointed by State Council. Under certain circumstances, State Pharmacy Council may remove the name of registered pharmacist from the register. 2 or more state governments may come together to constitute Joint State Pharmacy Council under Section 20. Joint State Pharmacy Council consists of elected members in this registered pharmacist 3 to 5 from each state instead of 6 in a single state council. Medical council 1 from each state. Nominated members. Government nominees 2 to 4 from each state instead of 5. It also have some ex officio members. Chief Administrative Medical Officer in charge of Drugs Control Administration. Government Analyst.
Process of registration of pharmacists. To be registered as pharmacists or to entry on the first register, a person must be qualified in the following terms. A person should have attained his 18 years of age. Holds a degree or diploma in pharmacy or Chemists and Druggists diploma or degree in PharmD. Holds a degree by recognized university other than pharmacy where drugs are dispensed on the prescription of registered medical practitioner. Passed examination of state government for the compounders and dispensers. Working more than 5 years in a hospital or dispensary where drugs are dispensed regularly on the prescription of registered medical practitioner. After this, if a person have these qualifications, it will be eligible for entry in the first register. When the Pharmacy Act, 1948 is enforced in a state, registration of person is carried out by the Registration Tribunal. The register so prepared by the Registration Tribunal is called as first register. After this it covers for preparation and maintenance of first register. This carried out in generally 5 steps that are 1. Constitution of Registration Tribunal. 2. Appointment of date for the application. 3. Scrutiny. 4. Appeal. 5. Issue of a certificate of registration. Education Regulations, ER. As per the Section 10 of the Pharmacy Act 1948, Pharmacy Council of India with the prior approval of the central government may make certain regulations prescribing the qualification required for the registration of person as a pharmacist. These regulations are known as Education Regulations. The minimum qualification required for the course. The nature and period of training which is given to the student before appearing to the examination. The nature and period of training which is to be given to the students after completion of the academic training but before getting diploma or degree certificate. The facilities to be provided by the institutions for the students undergoing the approved course of study. The facilities to be provided by the institutions for the students undergoing practical training. The subjects of examinations and standards to be attained therein. Any other conditions for examination. Now, we will see how any college gets its approval. Approval of institutions or authority which conducts the course of study or holds an examination. Firstly, they have to make application. An institution or authority which conducts the course of study or holds an examination for the pharmacist has to make an application to the Central Council for the approval of the course or examination. Next, PCI inspector comes and do the inspection. Central Council, on the receipt of such application, deputes its inspector to visit that institution or authority and ascertain that whether those institutions are having the prescribed facilities for the conduct of course of study or hold an examination. Inspectors then reports to the Central Council on the facilities available in the institute for the conduct of course or examination. Approval. On the receipt of report of inspectors, if the Central Council is satisfied that the institution or authority which conducts the course of study or holds an examination is in conformity with the education regulations, it may accord the approval and the said course is deemed to be approved. Declaration. Declaration of approval made by resolutions is passed at the meeting of Central Council and is published in the Official Gazette. Special provisions for registration of displaced persons, repatriates and other persons. The Pharmacy Amendment Act, 1976 provides that State Pharmacy Council may permit to enter on the subsequent register the names of the following classes of persons. 1. A person who holds a degree or diploma in pharmacy or pharmaceutical chemistry, or Chemists and Druggists Diploma of an Indian university, or any other prescribed qualification granted by an authority outside India, or has passed an examination recognized as an adequate by state government for the compounders and dispensers, or were eligible for the registration between the close of first register and the date when education regulations came into effect. 2. A person who is approved as a qualified person on or before 31st of December 1969 for compounding and dispensing of drugs. 3. Displaced persons who were carrying on the profession or business of pharmacy as their principal means of livelihood, and has applied for the registration on or before the appointed date prior to the date of application for registration. Offences and penalties under Pharmacy Act 1948. 1. Falsely claims to be a registered pharmacist. Fine up to 500 rupees on first conviction. Fine up to 1000 rupees and/or 6 months imprisonment of any subsequent conviction. 2. Dispensing by an unregistered person, exception, medical practitioner. 6 months of imprisonment or a fine of up to 1000 rupees or both. 3. Failure to surrender the certificate of registration. Fine of 50 rupees. 4. Obstruction of State Pharmacy Council inspectors. Imprisonment of up to 6 months or a fine of up to 1000 rupees or both. Pharmacy Act, 1959, Amendment. Pertaining to pharmacists affected by the partition of 1947. Also, the reorganization of states in 1956. Provisions remained in effect for a period of 2 years. State governments were empowered to extend the period of operation up to another 2 years. Pharmacy Act, 1976, Amendment. Provided for registration of pharmacists by SPCs who were eligible for registration between the closing of the first register and the coming into effect of the educational regulations. Approved qualified persons, before 31st of December 1969, under the Drugs and Cosmetics Act, 1940 and rules. Displaced persons from Bangladesh, after 14th of April, 1957 but before 25th of March, 1971. Repatriates from Burma, Sri Lanka, Uganda or any other country. Summary. The Pharmacy Act is to regulate the pharmacy education, profession and business. This Act provides for the constitution of Central Council and State Pharmacy Councils. The State Pharmacy Councils shall be responsible for preparing and maintaining the register of pharmacists for state and shall exercise such other controls over the persons practicing pharmacy. This Act extends to the whole of India except the state of Jammu and Kashmir, and has been amended in certain aspects by the Pharmacy Amendment Act, 1959 and Pharmacy Amendment Act, 1976.